Hello, here we are with an unboxing of the Huawei Ascend P6, probably one of the most desirable Huawei handsets that we've seen for some time. So here we have the UK spec black variant, and it's a fairly nondescript white box, but got that premium sort of feel. It's got sort of a little bit of a texture and pattern to the box, and we've got the Ascend P6 in this sort of coppery silver colour. Nothing on the back to speak of, so let's open it up and see what you get. So first of all, we've got the device, which we'll come back to in just a moment. Take that out. Then we've got a box with a variety of accessories in. So let's open this up. So as we mentioned, we're looking at the black handset, but there is a white and pink handset available as well. So here we have the USB cable, full USB at one end, and micro USB connection at the other. So that's for sync and charge to the computer or via the mains adapter. We have a set of 3.5mm in-ear headphones, sort of fairly basic style. We've got a right angle connector there, then we've got an inline microphone as well. We've then got the 3-pin UK mains adapter. We've got the Huawei branding on here, and then we've got the USB socket into which we connect the provided USB cable for charging. It's a fairly slim adapter there, and it's a 1 amp output there, so it's not using the new sort of faster charge standard. We've then got a quick start guide, which is sort of fairly standard, but to get you up and running, it's in a variety of languages for you there. We've got some safety information, quite a thick booklet on that. We've got the warranty card, and then provided in the box also we've got a protective case, which is a nice addition. It's very rare to get cases in the box. Now you would argue with the Ascend P6 you don't really want to put it in a case because it is so stylish, but this will provide a little bit of protection. So you can see sort of a grey black silicone affair with cutouts on the main ports controls. Got the Huawei branding just down here on the side, leaves the front completely exposed. So let's come back to the device itself. Let's just peel off the screen protector. We'll take off the back cover here as well. And here is the device. Now, if you've been watching our YouTube channel, you will have seen that we've already had hands-on with this device, but this is the final production variant that we've got here. So it's running Android. Let's open it up and go into the settings menu and show you a few things here then. So about the phone, so you can see it's the Huawei Ascend P6 U06. It's got a quad-core 1.5 GHz processor. We've got 2 GB of RAM. Inside this phone we've got 8 GB of internal storage, about 4.21 is available to you. We've got a 4.7-inch LCD display with a resolution of 720 by 1280. We've got Corning Gorilla Glass on the screen here as well. Android version 4.2.2. We've got Huawei's Emotion UI 1.6. You get the idea there. Let's just go and put the screen up to full brightness so you can see that and show how bright this screen is. There we go, lovely and bright. Right, before we take a look at the rest of the software, let's look at the device then. So here we've got the side profile, 6.18mm thick. That's really thin, in fact. Down here we've got a 3.5mm headphone jack, and in here you've got a little metal piece which sort of protects the headphone jack, and it's a bit fiddly to get out here. Okay, so after a little bit of fiddling I've managed to remove that, and you've got this little piece that goes into the headphone socket there, and you can use this pin to eject the micro SD card slot and everything on the device, which come to in a minute. So you've got silver banding, very iPhone-esque design. Got a little cut in the silver banding here of this aluminium frame. That's to assist with signal. We've got the curved upper edges. As we come to the top of the device, we've got the microphone, and then we've got the micro USB port on the top here. Now, some people either love or hate the positioning of the micro USB port. It's not ideal if you're going to put this in a dock in a car or on a desktop dock. You'll need to look at those solutions. Coming around to the other side, we've got another split in the banding. for the antenna, but we've got the silver banding continuing around here. We've got the power button, we've got the volume up and down keys, and then we've got the micro SIM card and micro SD slot here. So the device has 8 gig of internal storage, but you can expand that through a micro SD card up to 64 gig in capacity. So we just pop the pin in here. You can see that we can eject these covers, and again these are quite fiddly, but it's not like you're going to need to take these out all the time, and it doesn't help this is a brand new device. So there we go, you've got the little SIM card tray there that pops in like so. There's a little blank adapter in there at the moment. Let's see, it's actually a bit fiddly to do, I'll leave that out. And then we've got the micro SD card one as well there, so you can see how you pop them into the side of the device like so. Coming around to the back of the camera, we've got the Huawei branding on the back here. We've got a rear-facing 8 megapixel camera with LED flash. It records in 1080p, and the sample photos we've taken on this device have been pretty impressive. We've got some regulatory information down here, and then we've got the loudspeaker, and you'll notice that on the bottom we've got this sort of curved edge design, whereas at the top it's sort of squarer. The curves go this way as opposed to that. That's a bit of the design thing. And when you've got that little pin in your 3.5mm headphone jack, you've got this sort of silver sort of button look, which you don't have on the other side. So there's a little bit of inconsistency there in the design, but if you take this bit out of the headphone jack, of course, you'll lose that for the headphones. So we come and then look at the device. We've mentioned some of the internal specifications on here. Of course, this is 3G as well. It's not 4G. You've got Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS. Now, one of the things we should point out when we're looking at the front of the device is this. We've got a front-facing camera, which is kind of the norm now on these sort of devices, but this is a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. It records in 720p, so you can take some excellent photos of yourself. Now, at the home screens here, we've got a slightly different setup to a lot of Android devices. It is stock Androids with a few tweaks by Huawei with their Emotion UI. So you've got the Google Play Store if you've connected up an account, which we haven't done at this time. But you've got the same sort of configuration where you can pinch on the screens, you can set your home screens, you can add additional home screens, you can remove them. But what you normally have is an applications tray, which you don't have here. In fact, it all goes onto the different home screens. So as you download or add an application, it'll be added to one of your home screens, and you can organize it by putting them in folders like this. You can see how Huawei have already sort of set some up for you. So let's take a look at what you get. You get a web browser as you would come to expect. Now we're on the Clove website here. So it's just loading up to our mobile site, so you can scroll through, etc. Let's just go to the desktop website, and like any other Android device, you can navigate in portrait and landscape mode. You can pinch and zoom, so here we go. You can move about the Clove site, pinch in, orientate in portrait and landscape. I don't really need to show you that in too much detail. Got quick access to your settings menu. Now we've looked a little bit about the phone, but you can control your notification panel. You've got a gloves mode here, which you can switch on or off, and this enables you in cold weather to use the screen with gloves, which is a nice touch, and we're seeing more of that. You can add different accounts, so be it your corporate email, Gmail. You've got a Huawei account there as well. You've got security options, including the screen lock, device administration, to protect your device from unwanted people. You've got settings here for messaging, so you can set your tones and the theme in there. You can manage your apps and your call. You've got more settings here regarding email and cloud service, which just gives you greater scope. It's all been sort of put into the settings menu down here, so it's a little bit more logical for some new users. You've also got motion control on here, so I can switch this on. So we've seen features like this before. You can flip the phone over when it's ringing to mute it, so you just turn it over like that. You've got pickup mode, which means that when you pick the phone up, if it's ringing, it reduces the sound volume, so the phone's detected that it's ringing and it's not going to continue to make a lot of noise. And then you can also raise to your ear when you're on a contact to make a call. So you've got a contact on screen, raise it up to your ear and it will call that contact that you're on. You've got power management. Quite a nice little screen here and a lot of configuration that you can do to save power, including closing apps, etc. So it tells you how much time you've got left, how much battery power is there. You can go and configure things if you choose. Now, one of the big things is because this is made by Huawei, they are the people who build a lot of the infrastructure for our mobile networks that you may not be aware of, and as such they can take that experience to optimize the device in its usage of connectivity. So they claim up to 30% better battery life from this device because of their optimization around the networks, etc. So you've got controls over the display, auto rotate, the backlight, etc., how quickly it goes on or off. You can control the sound on here, and you've got your Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and you can use this as a portable hotspot. So you've got all your apps back here. I don't really need to explain that too much in terms of how you can customize it, but you can see some of the tools they put on here as standard. You've got an FM radio, you've got a movie studio, you've got DLNA on here, you've got a sound recorder, and you've got a flashlight. So use the rear flash on the back of the device. You've got all of your Google apps pre-installed on here, so be it Chrome browser, Google+, YouTube, it's all very good. The sound's not too bad on here. When you connect in a set of headphones, you get additional options from the music player in terms of the sound, so you can change the type from rock to pop, for example. Now, one of the big things that Huawei are shouting about is their Motion UI, which has these themes where you can go in and completely customize it. So you can click in here and change all your different sort of styles and things like that. And you can also go in and change your sort of profiles in terms of whether it's sort of loud, silent, meeting, ones that you've customized, so that you just flick it to that and all of the settings change based on those configurations that you've made. But we could spend a lot of time showing you that. We might as well just drop into the camera. So it's a fairly standard affair, nothing too fancy here, not quite like the Samsungs. You can flip between camera and video recording, and the on-screen icon changes as a result. You've got a shortcut into the gallery. You can flip between the front and rear facing camera. So here we go on the front facing camera. You've got your sort of flash control settings, be it on or off. You can go into your settings, and you've got a few options here, including smart mode, which is designed to take the best pictures possible, but you can add different effects. You've got HDR, panorama, so you can see some of the effects that we've got here to add a little bit of fun and creativity to the images that you create. Sorry, let's just go back in there and show you some of the more detailed settings. So that's the quick settings, and then you've got more here, including object tracking, touch to capture, GPS, the picture size. So it's set at 8 megapixels. Check out our blog for examples of that. If we click to video, we can go in and we can do similar things in terms of the settings. So we've actually got HDR for video, we've got a stabilizer. We can change the video quality, so it's currently set at 720p. We can do it at 1080, fairly sort of standard setup there. So that sort of concludes our unboxing of the Huawei Ascend P6, which is available from clove.co.uk.